Today, we're going to be reading some relationship Reddit stories. Crazy subreddit, by the way. A couple of them I cannot read on here. So if you guys are looking for some pretty wacky ones, go check it out. But I got a couple here that we're going to go through. And yeah, I also got some Minecraft in the background of me doing a little bit of mining. It got a little sketchy at times, but it was a good time. Much needed for sure. So the first story, we have a 31 male and his girlfriend, a 26 female, told him that she has a child. We've been dating for 10 months. All right. So before we get into the story, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's a little a little insane that wasn't, brought up before, but we'll dig into it here. She told me on our way home she has a daughter back home. She's from Kenya. I thought she was joking since I've never seen her talk to her daughter on the phone or has never mentioned her before. So we keep talking about it, and she says she's not joking. I'm completely shocked, but I'm calm, so I kept asking questions. She says she's never told me before because whenever she tells a guy, she gets ghosted, and it's happened to her 3 times. I told her I was mad because she should have told me earlier in the relationship. I told her I don't know if I can trust her now since that's a pretty big secret, and I don't know what else that she could be hiding. I'm glad she told me though, and we have been talking about moving in together next year. She's honestly a really sweet girl, and we get along and haven't had any fights throughout the relationship. We only see each other about once a week since we both have difficult schedules. I am really torn about what to do. She says she doesn't talk to the baby fathers anymore since she was really young when they had her and she couldn't take care of her. This story is a bit a bit interesting because me personally, like if I'm pushing 30s and I've got a girlfriend who has a kid, like I'm not gonna be too concerned about it honestly. But the fact that you didn't tell him 10 months into dating says a lot. And if you didn't know that, like there could be so many other things that she could be hiding. Like that's you don't even want to think about that, right? Another thing too is if she has a kid that she doesn't even talk to, I'm that's kind of raising some red flags in my head. And you tell me 10 months and you have a kid that you don't talk to, I'm out. I'm out, guys. But I would make sure to clarify, like, hey, I'm not out because you have a kid. I'm out because you lied for 10 months. I think that's probably important to clarify. So we'll go on to the next story. This one I'm curious about. It's gonna be an interesting one. How do I tell my boyfriend that I am done with his awful sister? My boyfriend is wonderful, but I can't stand his little sister. When I first met her, I made an effort. I invited her out to do things she likes 8 times over the first year, and she declined every time. She doesn't want to spend time with me, that's fine, but my boyfriend seemed disheartened when I told him I was done making that effort. I reminded him that I work 2 jobs and his sister doesn't work at all. So if she wanted to hang out in the future, she could make the effort instead. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. I still do things for her when I can. When my boyfriend and I went to a theme park, I got her the stuffed animal she wanted. I've gotten her clothes and makeup on occasion, and she's even asked me for advice about boys, so I've helped her with that. No less. Every time I'm around my boyfriend's family, she finds something snotty to say. She'll bring up boyfriend's ex-girlfriends and try to exclude me when my boyfriend wants to include me on everything. On top of this, she's just a spoiled brat. She constantly complains about being poor when she's vacationed in Europe 10 plus times and drives a Mercedes. Lately, I've been having health issues, and my doctor said most of it seemed stress related. When I sat down and took stock of what's causing me stress, boyfriend's sister was near the top of the list. I want to tell my boyfriend that I'm done with his sister, done making any effort, buying her things, and being polite when she's rude. From now on, when she says something snotty, I'm going to call her out then and there, then get up and leave. I'm literally getting sick from bottling all this up. How do I communicate to my boyfriend that I am done with his little sister? Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in. And I think the best way to go about it is I think you first got to talk with your boyfriend. You got to tell him, look, I'm done with trying to make this work here with the little sister. And I this is just my thought. I don't know if this is the wrong thought process or not, but I feel like the boyfriend should stand up for the girlfriend, even though it goes against his family, especially if she's saying rude remarks and whatnot. That's what I think. I think that's the most important thing. I think how she feels is, completely um understandable. Because it could be kind of hard, like your boyfriend's family or a family member, just you just don't get along with them. And if the boyfriend doesn't stand up for you, then you're kind of feeling alone, isolated, I guess. So I think if the boyfriend can stand up to the sister, or maybe have a talk with the sister, kind of intervene a little bit, even though it's not really directly affecting him. I think he needs to be the one that steps in, have the talk with them, kind of get everyone on the same page. Like, they don't the sister and the girlfriend, like, they don't need to be friends, but I think it's important if they're at least friendly with each other. So I think getting to that point is probably their end goal here, but it's definitely doable. It's not the end of the world. I think they can get through this. This one is hopefully a little more on the wholesome side of things, but we'll find out. So let's check it out. I'm a 21 female and am dating someone 21 male. The opposite of me socially, but the chemistry is there. I'm dating someone who's the complete opposite of me, but our chemistry is crazy. He's super social and a frat, has a lot of friends, especially women. Interesting. And is very ambitious. I can be social too. I'm an only child who loves my peace and alone time, and I'm focused on my goals in psychology and social work. All my past partners were similar to me, more introverted and laid back, but those relationships always ended. I eventually realized I wanted something different, someone who could bring me out of my comfort zone and show me another side of life. Now I have that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good um thought to have, for sure. The thing is, I just got out of a relationship in early September that lasted about a year. My ex was really withdrawn and emotionally draining. This new guy started talking to me around mid-September. Yeah, that did not. That was right after. Jeez. Right after he heard about the breakup, and things started sparking pretty quickly. We've now been talking and dating for about a month. He feels like a breath of fresh air, but things are moving fast. He wants me to meet all his friends, go to events, and really be part of his world. I'm excited, but also nervous, especially when it comes to the female friends. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think any normal person would feel like that, right? It's not that I don't trust him, because he's been transparent and honest about those friendships, but I've never dated someone with this many female friends. And between my own insecurities and my friends saying it's a red flag, I've been overthinking. We've known each other for 5 years and had a few almost situations before where we didn't talk and flirt but drift apart mutually whenever life got busy. Now, after reconnecting, he's saying he loves me and wants to make it official. I really like him, but I want to make sure I handle this the right way. How can I approach this dynamic in a healthy way without letting fear or insecurity get in the way? See, if this, I don't think I could do that, right? Like, maybe that's just me being me, but hearing that someone has a lot of friends of the opposite, like, gender, that would kind of make me a little too concerned, I guess. I don't think I would be comfortable. Not It's not like a trust thing either, per se. But I've got this sort of philosophy in my head. If you're in a relationship, obviously you don't cheat, right? Cheating is not a thing. But what's arguably more important than that is to not put yourself in a situation where you could cheat. And seeing as this guy having so many female friends where he could be put in a situation to cheat, that's not a risk I would take personally. And I feel like I would have a little more self-respect than to um be able to be put in that position. I do think there are situations where it could work, your partner having friends of the same gender as yourself. it could definitely work. But I think there's usually a sort of build up stage there where both people are friends with them, whereas just one side. Maybe it's just me speaking on this with this sort of thought process. So I'm curious what you guys would have to say about that. But personally, I don't think I couldn't do it. I just knowing it would I would be overthinking way too much, and it's just not worth the stress and mental strain. Also, was completely wrong. This was not a super wholesome story. Next one. This is pretty interesting. I'm excited to dig into this one. My boyfriend, 21 male, and I, 21 female, have been dating for 2 years and 10 months. For context, I'm a senior at one of the top universities in the US studying computer science. I'm a straight A student and have a full-time SWE, software engineer, I'm assuming that's what that means, job lined up after graduation. My boyfriend is studying at a local community college for nursing and has plans to transfer to a 4-year. We met when I was a freshman in college, 2022, and he was not studying. Once we started dating, he decided he wanted to pursue college. When we first met, I was not strictly looking to date someone who was successful as me. I was okay with him not pursuing college. However, he decided to pursue it because he was inspired by me. No one in his family pursued that path. I was really excited and was ready to support him. I understood it would take him longer to graduate since he took a gap year after senior year of high school and was a part-time student his first year at community college. Starting 2025, I noticed a big decline in his motivation. It seemed like he never had homework, he would miss class, and it just didn't look like he was taking college serious. I spoke to him about my worries multiple times. This month, I got a gut feeling to check his transcript. I asked him to show me his transcript and found out he had been failing classes since he started school. Withdrawn from some and has a 1.65 GPA. This means he had been lying about his school progress for 2 years. I graduate this spring, and it looks like he'll have to do another year of community college and 2 more at his 4-year. I've come to realize I do want someone who is career driven, and that is an important value of mine. Our relationship is great. He's an amazing boyfriend, respectful, kind, and loyal. Outside of the small arguments that would come up about his lack of motivation in school, our relationship was pretty much perfect. He also shared with me that he has been battling depression, and that is the reason he failed his classes. I also did not know about this since he never opened up to me about it. I love him very much and truly saw our future together. I'm unsure about whether to end our relationship. On one hand, I want to be there for him and support him through his depression and career journey. On the other hand, I feel betrayed about the lying and worry our different levels of dedication and work ethic will be a reoccurring issue in the future. What is the best path forward? Once again, similar to that first story, where it was the 10 months of the girl lying about having, or denying, or not denying, but not bringing up she has a child. This guy lying about failing classes for 2 years is pretty deceitful. Once again, I think it's just a similar, very similar reasoning that I would say, as good as he might be, and while I don't think that college is everything to make up with someone, plenty of people are successful without going to college, but I think this might sound wrong again, but it does make sense for high value, this is gonna sound so bad, high value people to be with high value people. Like, you don't really, like, it's kind of the thought of you only see celebrities date other celebrities. I've always wondered, like, why does that happen? That's so bizarre to me. And it kind of follows that they're high value, they date high value people. You don't really see some, maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like it's not super common to see, a super successful doctor being with someone who probably didn't even, attend college. Like, I just feel like that's not a super common stereotype that you see. So, not to say that this person would follow that per se, because I think it changes for everybody, different for everybody. The lying for 2 years is something that I'm, I get a little iffy about. And also, as someone who's attending college, having a 1.65 GPA is insane. Like, that should, especially like community college, like, I don't know. Just, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, that should not happen. So Definitely seems like a little bit of issues there, but um, you know, I think if they want to stick it out, they can. She really needs to have that talk with him, but at the same time, 2 years of lying is a. I don't know if I could get over that personally. And for the final story, my boyfriend wants a break, and I don't know what to do. I, 19 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 19 male, for a little over a year now. Everything has been really great. He's my first boyfriend and is perfect. We've never had a fight, at most just minor disagreements. We even did long distance for the summer with no issues. We got back to college about 2 months ago, and it just feels like the spark has died a little. We are less romantic and more like really close friends. I understand we are out of the honeymoon phase and relationships change. Yesterday he told me that he wants a break. He couldn't really pinpoint his exact reasoning, just saying that he doesn't feel the spark as much and he loves me less. Yikes. I try to see if he'd be open to not taking a break and just trying a few things to get the spark back. I think it's important to mention here, while at college, we spend like every minute together. So I understand how that can take a toll on the relationship and not having some separation. He seems really adamant that a break is the only thing that'll work for him because he needs to figure out if he wants to fight for this relationship. We're going to talk more today, now that I'm not caught off guard. I also don't suspect that this is for him to cheat or find other people. Any advice? Um, this is the thought I've had all the time. If you're gonna take a break with somebody, it's the relationship's probably just not gonna work out anyway. It doesn't make sense. Like if you really like the person, you're not going to want to go on a break. Like no matter what the hardships and you know trivial matters are, you're gonna stay in it. There's no way around that. Like if he wants to fight for the relationship, he wouldn't have said any of that. He would have taking a break would have had to have been the last resort, and even then, having that as a last resort just doesn't seem right. So it's hard situation. Personally, I would say if he wants to go on a break, I would end it there. That's just me. You got to find someone who's worth what you're willing to give in. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for the stories. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed listening to it. If you want more, I'll keep them coming.